relative to that planet. And then you can also use Kepler's laws of motions to use the observations of Venus to determine its distance from the sun. Using all these observations and applying just a little bit of mathematical, trigonometry, you can then begin to calculate your distance to the sun using objects in the sky. There's other ways of doing it by using, sticks and shadows. A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people like this guy don't like that, but it is a way of doing it because if the Earth is shaped a certain way, then there should be a certain observation, and if the Earth is shaped a different way, there should be a different observation. The same thing goes. Look, if you're out there and you're a flat earther, and I'm sure you've got 10 flat earth friends around the globe, okay? You got 10 flat earth friends around this amazing globe. You guys can test this for yourself. You can go and you can put sticks in the ground and you can each tell each other what the angle of the shadow is. The angle of the shadow doesn't tell you the length of anything, it just tells you where the sun is in the sky. Now go plot that out, okay? Lay down a piece of paper, take a string, take anything, and plot out all you and your friends' measurements, all right? When you do that, ask yourself, does that match reality? Do all of these point to the same sun? Or does everybody on a flat earth have to have their own sun for observations of each person to make sense? Now, if this is, and we did this test. This is on Sly Sparkane's channel. We have done this test where we plotted out on a flat earth. We had measurements from everywhere. We took those measurements. We plotted them out on a flat earth. Then we plotted them out on a globe earth. Guess what? The flat earth didn't make sense. Every single person on the flat earth must have their own sun because when they look up in the sky and they see the sun there, it's not there for me. It's over here for me. It's over here for somebody else. And it's over there for somebody else. But when we plot it on a curved surface and we rotate it around, we all notice that all the lines point in the exact same spot in the sky. And you know what? Then you have to ask yourself, why do they all point at the same spot in the sky? How is it that the tiny little sun that's up in the sky is in the same position relative to all of us why does it make sense to us on a globe earth that it's like that? Well, the only reason is because it's bigger than the earth. If it's not bigger than the earth, then we wouldn't all see it. Like, okay, on the sunrise, and this is a good example, I want everybody to hear this. This is one of the reasons why I refuse to believe the earth is flat. Single observation. The equinox sunrise. Every single person on the face of the planet, whether you believe it is or flat or not, will look due east and see the sun rise. Due east. You're in South America. Due east. You don't have to look up north where the sun's supposed to be and plot it out on your flat earth and tell me that the sun's not supposed to be north of due east. In South America, I have family in Argentina. Okay? They see the sunrise due east. Look at it. Tell me that it's supposed to be that way. Tell me why, when it sets due west for everybody on earth. You cannot show me that this works on a flat earth because it doesn't work on a flat earth.
Steve, can I ask you a question?
Let me finish and I'll stop and I'll let you answer it. The only reason it works on a globe earth is because the sun is much larger than the earth. It's very far away. And when it's rising, no matter where you are, when you point that way, you're pointing at the sun when you're pointing due east. That is a fact that anybody can test for themselves. Ask your question.
Neil deGrasse Tyson's on record saying that the sticks and shadows works on both models, the flat Earth and a round Earth. Any comment on that?
Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson is somebody who's an educator and entertainer, and a lot of times he'll say things that can be misinterpreted by people like you and misused by people like you. The idea is this right here. You take two sticks on a flat earth.
Vsauce said the same thing.
Hold on one second. You take two sticks on a flat earth, you can make any two observations and say, yes, these match. But you add a third stick, you come to a problem. You add a fourth stick, you get an even bigger problem. You add a fifth stick, you get an even bigger problem. Using the stick method alone is not going to give you any valid data as long as you have one stick. It's once you start adding more sticks, once you start increasing your data points, then you can get a true understanding of what you're actually dealing with. Go check out the video we did with Sly Sparkane and all the people across the planet. I'll even give it to you. I'm going to stop calling it a globe for all you flat earthers out there. I'll call it the planet. We did this. We did the observations, we plotted the observations, and we came to one conclusion. The earth is not flat. and it's a globe.
Were there any assumptions?
No assumptions. Zero assumptions. We just measured the position of the sun in the sky.
Hold on one
Refraction
second.
index for each individual observer.
One second. We're gonna go with.
Oh no, refraction is taken into account on all that. The deal with refraction is this right here. When an object is coming in, well,
Hold on a second. One second.
well, we have it online. You can definitely Slice Arcane, go on his channel. We plotted everything out. We even have all the data points for anybody that wants to check it out. See how we plotted out. Go on there and watch it yourself. I'm not going to say I don't know what's all the data that's on there to answer the question honestly, but I can tell you that all the data points that we took are on that individual video. And if you feel like the video is in any error whatsoever, please make a video or comment about it, because we put it out there just as an open thing. We didn't ask people to make an assumption of anything. Just take a measurement of where the position of the sun in the sky is and send it to us, and we plot it.
Gotcha. Thanks so much.
Good question.
Another,
Was that
might
you,
have
Mike? What was your
to,
question?
Yeah, that was mine.
good question. Might be abbreviated as we do just a few more. Mick Haleon, thanks for your super chat. They said, I'm a marine engineer and electrical engineer with extremely high degrees and am one of the few people to quote unquote circumnavigate the supposed globe. Why does the horizon always rise to eye level no matter the elevation? It's flat.
Okay, so we've already done the test as well. Go to Sean Hufford's channel. He did the test himself. Not to mention, Wolfie 6020 does this in his airplane at extremely high elevations, where they can plot the eye level, and then as the plane goes up, you can watch the horizon drop from eye level. But you don't need to go to a plane. You don't need to trust some international pilot or anything like that. You can simply go to Sean Hufford's channel, and he did it himself with a drone. You can also go into the Burj Khalifa, which I know all of us, we can't really do that from here, but at the Burj Khalifa or any tall building, you can go down, and at ground floor you can witness the sunset, and then you can jump in the elevator, go right back up, and sure enough, that sun comes right back up. You can watch the second sunset.
Gotcha. Thanks so much. Appreciate it, team. Next up, maybe just one or two more. So, any other in-person audience questions? Otherwise, you bet.
You check that. You got me all right? Okay, Nathan. I honestly don't care what you believe. I don't. I do care why you believe it. So, my question is not going to be on the science. My question is going to be on where you're coming from. So, if I understand correctly from the things I've seen of you, the videos I've watched, and the interactions I've seen you have with other people, you have a predominantly faith-based worldview, correct?
Not at all.
Because the pamphlet that you handed me, that the Christian pamphlet that you handed me, that proposed that, you handed that to me directly at the Flat Earth Convention. You actually handed one to me. I saved it. So that proposed your faith-based worldview, that where you're driving your information about the flat Earth. And
I was a Christian for 10 years, and I thought the Earth was a globe the entire time.
so you're saying that. So you're saying that but you still hold that religious viewpoint. You're still a Christian. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm Christian.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So your worldview is faith-based. Okay, well, this is where you're driving the base points of your info.
Everyone's worldview is faith-based.
So that
Everyone's worldview
it's
is
not.
faith-based.
It's demonstrably
When you
not.
wake up in the morning, you just look at the floor.
So my question, Nathan, is this:
You don't care what I believe.
your worldview. I don't care why you believe. So this is what I'm getting to. Your worldview is faith-based. When faith is demonstrably subjective to each individual, open to interpretation, as we've proven time and time again, as Matt Dillahuntly will prove in his upcoming debate. How can you base a scientific, empirical worldview on a viewpoint that cannot be determined by anything other than your own subjectivity?
The Bible says test all things and hold fast to that which is true. So I did that, and the Earth's not a globe. So that's why I believe
You didn't answer the
Earth's not a
question.
globe.
You're basing an empirical worldview. Okay. Yeah. Based upon. You're saying that you're holding an empirical worldview based upon a subjective world. Where you're coming from is completely subjective.
No.
And open to
I was a
interpretation.
globehead for 10 years and a Christian. The only reason I'm a flat earther and a Christian now is because I went out and tested the Earth, and it's flat. So my belief in a flat Earth belief Has nothing to do with me being Christian. Yeah, it has only the fact that we see too far, large bodies of water don't curve, Earth's movement's never been proven, all space is fake, it's all cartoons, Globers are just emotional, scientifically illiterate window lickers.
Really? Really? Well, you know we have an astrophysicist in the crowd that is absolutely lying at you every time you say, oh, we got
Where's
this
the
nonsense,
astrophysicist? Why isn't he up here
non-scientific.
debating me?
Why?
Like,
What
give me a
makes you
break.
think it's a he?
Oh, I don't know. Well, why isn't she debating me?
Because she doesn't want to waste her fucking time on a fucking piece of human trash
you
like
do?
you.
All right,
What
let's
you
see.
do?
We gotta go over to the next
I
I talk
appreciate
for,
it.
I talk to
Thank
people
you.
like her.
Thanks, I appreciate you wasting this
I was
time on
asked to do
me.
this.
That was fun, watching you dance.
Next up, thanks for your super chat from Jimmy. This is last question we'll have. So they asked Nathan to explain the Game of Thrones style ice wall. So Nathan, I'm not sure what they're referring to. If there's
Yeah, so basically, I say this all the time, they put the truth in movies and on the radio, and they put the lies on the news and textbooks. So The Matrix was a documentary, The Truman Show was a documentary, We All Live in a Yellow Submarine, The Wheel in the Sky Keeps on Turning, The Fool on the Hill sees the sun going down and the eyes in his head tell him the earth's spinning around, okay? So there's lots of truth in TV, there's no truth in the textbooks. You're better off learning where you live from Game of Thrones than Team Skeptic.
you're going to go from there.
Won't let me call him an idiot. We can understand.
Want to say a couple
but
of
he's
things.
gonna ding her
I want to
anyway.
say a couple of things. First, thanks so much. Artistic Encounter has been extremely gracious. We really appreciate it. We have not asked for anything. So, big shout out. Big shout out. Completely for free have hosted us, which is just extremely generous. We want to say thanks so much to our speakers for taking their time, who have also said completely for free that they'd be willing to do this. So we really appreciate them as well. Thank you very much, Nathan and Team Skeptic. My pleasure. And also, thanks so much for the help with the setup from Tom Jump and Steven Steen. Thanks for your questions. I'm so sorry if we didn't get to every question. We definitely appreciate them though, and want to say thanks so much for your support, as this channel really, it really is kind of your channel, folks, and we want to say thanks so much for all of your help. Thanks for everybody for being here tonight in person. It's been a true pleasure. So with that, take care, keep sifting out the reasonable from the unreasonable.
Good job, James.
For James. This one's for James. You get the multiple fingers.
Appreciate it.